G'day, viewers and listeners. It's Ed Fox with another episode of Nashville2. And remember, Nashville2 is about telling your story. You are Nashville2. So let's have you on the show. If you know a business owner or a mentor or a preacher or somebody that needs to be recognized in the Nashville metro area and they've got a story to tell, we want to hear it. You're Nashville2. Let's tell your story. And I'd like to welcome my special guest today, Dean Wegner. And Dean, you own a company called Authentically American. Is that correct?
Absolutely, Ed, and I'm honored to be your guest. So thank you for the invitation.
You're welcome. I'm glad you're here. So Dean, tell me a little bit about yourself. Are you originally from the Nashville area?
So my family and I, Ed, we moved here in 2010, and priorities for me in life align with God, family, and country. And my wife grew up in Tennessee. She's a UT grad, UT Knoxville.
Okay.
And when we arrived here in 2010, and it was move number at 10, and that I knew if number 11 was coming, I was going by myself. Nashville is such a great city. Tennessee is such a great state. We didn't want to leave. We wanted to call this a home. And, you know, our family and I just love it here. We've been here 12 years now.
That's awesome. Yeah. So we've only been here since December of 2021, and we are loving it. I'm in the Franklin area, but I've traveled all over Nashville, and the reception has been amazing. It's a great city. You've got some great people. And so that's why I started doing Nashville2, because there's a million stories in Nashville, right? And Dean,
absolutely,
your story interested me because of what you started. Tell the viewers and the listeners and myself a little bit about how you got into or tell us about your business and then how that came about.
Absolutely, Ed. So Authentically American, we are a veteran-owned, American-made premium apparel brand. We have amazing product, and it's all made right here in the US. And that's because we are passionate about creating American jobs. So we have 11 contracted manufacturing facilities all across the country. You know, people love our t-shirts. If you remember at B&I, Ed,
yep.
I demonstrated our t-shirt. We make those in Texas.
So tell us a little bit about that t-shirt. That's the one that if it gets wet, the picture shines through, right? It comes, how do you explain that?
Absolutely, Ed. It's like magic. and this is giving an idea. So if it's okay with you, I can do a quick kindergarten style show and tell.
Okay, so guys, if you're listening to this on our podcast, then you need to get on the YouTube channel or the Facebook page, and you'll be able to watch this demo. For those of you that are watching the YouTube video or Facebook, you'll be able to see it. Okay, so explain.
And I'll narrate a little bit as well. So if people aren't able to tune in right away to the video, they can get an idea. So again, we've got amazing product, but it's all made here in the US.
Okay.
And the most ubiquitous apparel item is the t-shirt.
Yep.
And we have a B2B side of our business. We have a B2C side, and we have collegiate licenses. So I'm a proud West Point graduate.
Okay.
So Ed, this one I'm holding up happens to be my favorite t-shirt.
Go Army.
You know, it is a Go Army t-shirt. And if you were there at that B&I meeting, you were there. But if you had a chance to feel that t-shirt, you know how incredibly soft.
That's what somebody told me after you left, actually, the t-shirt was soft. Yeah.
And that is intentional, Ed, because who doesn't love a nice soft t-shirt? The other thing is the print. So I say if you try and feel the print, you can hardly feel it, because think a lot of the t-shirts in your closet, they have that heavy plastisol ink, and on a hot summer day, you know, it will stick to your chest. You wash it a few times, it will crack.
Right.
So our t-shirts, the fabric is soft, the print is soft, to include tagless. And that's the way all of our t-shirts are. But we have this new amazing innovation, and it's like magic, Ed. So, you know, the print on this says Go Army. And here's what happens when I spray it when you work out. I'm spraying it.
We need Billy.
What do you see up here?
Beat Navy, beat Navy, beat Navy. That's hilarious.
Yes.
That's awesome.
People love it, Ed. And I like to highlight this because we're very intentional about American made, but it doesn't matter unless people say, Dean, wow.
Right.
And I love to show this because people say, Dean, no offense, I don't care where it's made. The shirt's incredibly soft. Right. I can't even feel the print. And then, wow, this technology, I've never seen anything like it. But Ed, here's what happens when they have an amazing product experience. That's when they'll want to learn more, and they will look at the tag and see Made USA. And to give you and your listeners some context, when I graduated from West Point in 1993, over 50% of the apparel in the US was made in US. Today, it's less than 3%.
Wow.
I mean, that's all that's made here. And Ed, you were looking very patriotic today.
Unfortunately, it's not one of yours.
Well, that's fine. I don't really care if it's one of ours. You know, the heart of our mission is for our passion, creating American jobs. So I will make you a friendly wager. You can take a look at the tag now or in the future. If it says made in USA, guess who's buying you lunch?
You're buying me lunch.
If it says made in China, made anywhere else, you owe me a cup of coffee or lunch.
Okay, that's a deal. And I like to say Australian by birth, but American by choice. Yes. And Christian by God's grace. So those Amen. Are that's the way I say it. I've added the Christian part because hey, we don't get religious on the show, but I'm not going to be backwards about coming forward about my belief in Christ and what he's done in my life. And if that causes somebody to turn off, that's the way it is. You do you. So for me, I am ribbing the heck out of my sisters in Australia right now because I'm calling it concentration camp Australia because it is ridiculous. I love the freedom that the state of Tennessee has. I love the freedom that Kansas had. I love the freedom that Kentucky had. And I will never live in the states that aren't free like Tennessee. Tennessee is
absolutely free. That is one of the best things about living in the volunteer state. It is the freedom state.
Right. Exactly.
And it was amazing how divisive the whole mask issue was. And I'm a big believer that if you believe a mask is going to help you and keep you safe, then wear it all the time.
Yeah.
But if you feel that it's best for your kids, if you feel that it's best for you, that you don't wear that, then that should be your choice as well. And that's the general principle that the state of Tennessee had.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so you do you be responsible for your own self and not be picking on everybody else. I fully agree with you. My wife's a pharmacist, so she gave a lot of vaccinations out. She said, look, you want to get a vaccination, get a vaccination. You don't want to get a vaccination, don't get a vaccination. It's up to you. I've just got to do my job. And my job is for the people that come in and want a vaccination, I'm going to give them a vaccination.
Yeah. And Ed, I will tell you, the extension goes also to our brand because apparel is a massive $300 billion industry.
Right.
I mean, it is massive. And our vision is to build this iconic brand, this iconic American brand. And prior to or after the Army, I spent time at P&G and Mars and worked on brands like Crest and Tide and M&M's.
Right.
And all those are unique and different, but all of them are a billion-dollar brand.
Right.
And that's the vision we want to build, is this iconic, billion-dollar brand. But what we've realized, we don't have to be all things to all people. I mean, if you look at the market share, that is 1/3 of 1%. So we need to find more Ed Foxes of the world. We need to find more people that are tuning in that, appreciate and love our country, that would love a amazing American-made product that's competitively priced.
Yeah, and that sounds great. So tell me, Dean, how did the business of Authentically American come about?
So in 2017 is when we launched. So we are now going to have our 5th anniversary come July. And I tell everybody, first and foremost, Ed, I am so thankful that number one, we survived.
Right. Yep.
Because if you are a technology company, if you are in the thought leadership business, you can work remote. You can work virtually. But when you are producing amazing t-shirts like we do in Texas, having a factory doesn't operate remotely.
Right.
The other one, Ed, you remember the socks?
Yeah. I've got to order some of those. Yeah.
Yeah. The last time we were on national TV, these socks were the #1 seller. They're Carolina cotton in Carolina. And again, you don't produce socks virtually. So I'm thankful that we survived, and it just reinforced my belief in the American worker, because we've been in existence almost 5 years, and nearly half of our existence has been under COVID.
Right.
And the American worker just stepped up in a big way and continued to produce amazing product for us.
So for those people in Nashville, or maybe listening to this outside of Nashville, where can they find your product?
So our website is always the best spot, Ed, authenticallyamerican.us.
Okay.
Authenticallyamerican.us, and that .us was an intentional choice given the equity of our brand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. So they don't have to add .com or anything to that. Some people get confused by that. It's .us is the domain.
Yeah. So if you just search Authentically American in Google or your favorite search engine, I mean, we will come up there #1.
Awesome. And Dean, so what do you do when you're not working? Or not having fun? I mean, what do you do for fun when you're not having fun working?
Well, Ed, you mentioned a little bit about you, and I mentioned my priorities, aligning with God, family, and country. So I love spending time with my family.
Right.
But me personally, I was a hockey player at West Point. Grew up playing all through the youth ages, still played at college, and then still play now in a men's beer league. So
you're saying ice hockey, not field hockey, right?
It's ice hockey.
Ice hockey. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And you got an amazing backdrop there right behind you. And, part of that is Bridgestone Arena.
Right. Yep.
And here's a little tip for anyone visiting Nashville that is also a hockey player, because are you much of a hockey fan, Ed?
I have gone to a Preds game and I had a blast. We didn't win, which was disappointing, but I still had a blast. Yeah.
It is an amazing experience at Bridgestone, but if you're a hockey fan, one of the songs is "I Want to Drive a Zamboni."
Okay. Yep.
And Zamboni is that thing that goes around in between periods and cleans the ice and makes it nice and smooth.
Right.
And I know a lot of people that tune into this are charitable. A lot of people like yourself love to support charities. So a little known fact that you can do is if you want to actually ride on the Zamboni, you can make a relatively small donation to the Predators Charity Foundation. And there in between periods, 17,000 people can be watching you on the ice riding the Zamboni.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. I need to go out there in a flag shirt and have some fun.
Absolutely.
So, okay. So what else do you do other than socks and t-shirts? What's the vision? I know you say $1 billion company, but what's the vision of the product line expanded out to? Am I asking the right question? What's the next vision for you, Dean?
Well, Ed, you were asking a phenomenal question, and very intentionally, there's two sides of our business. So there's a B2C side.
Right.
So you as an individual consumer can buy, for example, Ed, your new favorite pair of socks.
Yep.
Or we have 12 collegiate licenses like West Point, but we have all the local Nashville schools like Vanderbilt.
Okay.
Belmont, MTSU, and Lipscomb. So that's the B2B side. Mm-hmm. But we also have a B2B side, the client side, and that is the biggest segment of our business. So we, for example, work with Bridgestone and HCA.
Okay.
We work with middle market companies. We work with small businesses, and we work with charities because for the most part, every business buys t-shirts.
Right.
They buy polos. They buy, apparel with their company logo. Yep. And back to that 3% number, Ed, of being American made, none of it. If you're a business owner, is American made until we came on the scene.
Right.
And now, Ed, you as a business owner, anyone who's tuning in as a business owner can say, I love this country. I love amazing product. And now Dean and his team are providing an amazing option for me and my business to partner and intentionally choose American made.
That's amazing. That is awesome. And we'll have all your contact details in the show notes. So folks, you'll be able to go to the YouTube channel, the Facebook page, any of your major podcasting platforms. We're on them all, from Amazon to iHeart to Apple to Google, you name it, Spotify, we're there. And if we're not, if you don't find us, hit us up, because they should be there. Every time I check, they're there. My wife had trouble finding one the other day, and I'm like, no, Nashville, no space, #2. And she found it. So we popped up. So
I'll share this with you so you can include it in the show notes. Okay. So my personal discount code is Founder.
Founder.
So if you say, you know what, I want to kind of be like Ed. I want to wear these fun, cool socks, something like that. And you want to try them out. Or if you want to say, you know what, I went to Vanderbilt or Belmont and I want one of these cool sweat activated tees, you can go to our website. And when you check out, enter the code Founder.
Okay.
And that will save you 25%.
Oh, wow. That is awesome. Thank you, Dean. Okay, folks. And if you do that, I want pictures on our Facebook page. Share them on our Facebook page, and we might be able to find something cool for you. Maybe I can talk Craig Alexander, who was on episode 5, I think it was, and he said I could use this backdrop. Maybe we could get you a print or something.
Absolutely. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I can pull that off, but if I can, we'll
I've got faith in you, Ed.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Okay, so we've got the Preds game as one of your hidden gems, and riding the
Zamboni ride. Yes.
Yeah, the Zamboni ride is cool. So what's something else? You live in the Brentwood area of the Nashville metro. Is that what I understand?
Yeah. So my family and I, my wife and I, we've got 4 amazing kids. So we've got 2 daughters, 23 and 20.
Right.
We have a 17-year-old son. We have a 12-year-old son we adopted from Ethiopia.
Right.
And this is Music City, but this is a gem that people may not know about in Brentwood. So there is a place called Crockett Park.
Okay.
Which is in Brentwood, and there are soccer fields and baseball fields and, all kinds of fields. It's just a phenomenal park with trails. Mm-hmm. But what they do in the summer, Ed, on Sunday night, they have a summer concert series. and they bring out some amazing talent, some amazing acts, and people come out as a family and they bring out their lawn chairs, they bring their blankets, and every Sunday night throughout the summer, you get to listen to some amazing free music.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you need to send me the details on that one too, that we can include in the show notes.
I am making a note because I will forget if I don't, Ed. So I now owe you the founder discount code, and I also owe you the Brentwood Summer Concert Series.
Yeah, and a bio on you. And then, okay, what's one more? What's one more that you think maybe a lot of people from maybe other parts of Nashville don't know is out there? I've been uncovering some great hidden gems since I started this series. It's been fantastic.
Yeah. Well, Ed, this is also fast becoming a foodie town.
Okay.
And, people love to eat, and it's amazing the restaurants that continue to pop up here.
Right.
And my personal favorite fare is a good steak.
Okay.
I'm a meat and potatoes kind of guy, and I love a steak. And, there's a lot of great steak restaurants here, but one that many people may not be as familiar with is House of Cards.
Okay. Yeah, I've never heard of it.
House of Cards is not only an amazing meal, but as part of the meal, you get a magic show.
Okay.
So somebody will come to your table during the meal, and you'll see just some amazing card tricks that will baffle and blow your mind. And then after dinner, you'll also be treated to a show that's part of dinner. So it's not an inexpensive meal, but it's going to be similar whether you go to a Cane Prime or you go to Bob's Chop House or the Palm or any steakhouse like that.
Right.
But the added bonus you get is that magic show.
Right. Yeah. So you get the entertainment while you go in there and keep your kids off the phone.
That's right. They are enamored. My kids were like, my kids were saying, Dad, how did he do that?
Right.
That was incredible. And I'm like, I have no idea. That's why it's magic.
That's right. Exactly. Sort of like your t-shirts.
That's right.
So with your logoed apparel, you have a division that works with business to business that they can get logoed apparel with their business logo on your range of products?
Absolutely. And I love it because we have Fortune 500 companies we work with like HCA and Bridgestone, but we also have some sole proprietors that we work with as well, because the most common business in the US is the small business. So we love it, for example, when Bridgestone's going to order thousands, but most business owners, for example, at BNI, they're not going to order thousands, but we're very intentional to make sure our minimums are low. So our MOQs, for example, everyone loves these t-shirts. They say, well, Dean, how many hundreds do I have to order? And I say, no, you don't have to. The minimum is 24.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So anybody
and that is a mix of sizes. So people love them. They hand them out. The other thing is, like I'm wearing one of our quarter zips that's embroidered. So instead of our logo, you can have your company logo. And that minimum, Ed, is only 12.
Right.
And that's a mix of sizes. So quarter zips, polos, jackets. So a mix of styles and sizes. That's why we have some sole proprietors, because they want to represent their brand every day. So they'll get a few polos, they'll get a few quarter zips, they'll get a few jackets, and now they can proudly wear their brand each and every day.
Right, right, exactly. And they're not waiting for it to come on a slow boat from China and get stuck at port for 3 months before they ever see the product. So I think, and you're supporting American factories, which is great.
Absolutely, Ed. And, having a U.S. supply chain is absolutely a competitive advantage because, we're not stuck on a boat in Long Beach. Right. All those headlines that you saw. So if somebody tuning in placed an order with us, 4 weeks later or less, you will have your product.
Right. That's amazing. That's awesome. For those of you that have never ordered a product like that, I can tell you that I have waited months and months and months for some products that I've ordered. Yeah, so that is awesome. Hey, Dean, so what else do we need to talk about? We've got a few minutes left before we wrap up. What else would you like to talk about?
Well, I'll tell you what, Ed, one thing I love about, the state of Tennessee being the volunteer state, I mean, we're very active in giving back. We're very intentional about making a difference, and we want to be known that way as a brand. So like a business, a charity, we work with a long list of charities as well. And one point of differentiation we do, if you're a charity and you partner with us, we provide our goods and services at cost.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And that's a way for a charity for us to help them build their brand and raise some money in the process. So for example, these t-shirts we sell for $32 every day. We have a lot of charities that partner with us, come up with their own custom design, their own custom hidden message that magically appears. they sell them at a reduced price for $25 and they make $10 in every shirt.
Right.
So we love that. We don't make any money.
Right.
But what we do is we, help a charity build their mission.
Yep.
Yep. And then we get some brand awareness as well.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's a win-win. It's all about people forget this mentality of go out and grab it and take it and be a go-getter. It's more about being a go-giver today than it is to be a go-getter. So if you go give, it's going to come back pressed down and overflowing. You don't know where it's going to come from. And that's not the intention of why you're giving, but giving back. That's our mandate, I think, for the business owner in America today, is to give back. And we're seeing that more and more.
Absolutely, Ed. And you mentioned one of my favorite books, The Go-Giver.
The Go-Giver by Bob Berg, and I forget the other guy.
I know Bob's name, but
yeah,
another part of our brand being a veteran-owned, American-made, another intentional choice we made around giving back. We donate 10% of our profits to veteran and first responder charities, and that's a way for us each and every day to honor our American heroes.
Yeah, exactly. That is awesome. And I know you met a couple of our Army guys that were at BNI, that are members in BNI. Retired Colonel John Hope, and then there was others too. So
John's a good friend of LO West Point alum.
Oh, is that right? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, man, that guy's amazing. I could sit and I need to have him on the show, but I could just sit, like I'm sitting there and just listening to the stories. And he's a big history buff, as am I, and we've got some connections between Afghanistan, who play a lot of cricket, and he's worked with the translators from Afghanistan that help special forces and stuff. So we had a great conversation. So he's a good guy. Okay, Dean. So people go to your website, they can order your product, whether it be for personal, or they've got a nonprofit, or they've got a business. You can help them out in all three areas. And if they enter the founder code, you're going to give them 25% off, which is really nice of you. So thank you for doing that.
And Ed, don't forget our friendly wager as well.
Okay, I'm going to check. I'm not going to do it on screen. I don't want to shock anybody here, but I will check. And I'm pretty sure I owe you a coffee or a Coke or a sandwich or something. But that'll be fun. So looking forward to buying some socks, quite honestly. When I first saw them, I contacted you to be on the show, and I'm like, dude, I got to buy you socks. So let me know. So yeah, I'll get on the website and do that. Dean, thanks so much for being on the show. I'd love to have you back sometime as the company progresses, as you add more lines and you got some things you'd love to talk about. Come on back. Come on.
I would be honored to be a guest, Ed. So thank you very much. You've done an incredible job as a host.
Thank you. Thank you.